Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Pub Talk. I know it's been a while, but it's time to pop the top off again. So today, we're going to talk about a lot of sports. We have a lot of catching up to do with you guys. I know it's been a long time, but a lot has happened over the past month. And don't worry, we will fill you in. We still love doing this show, so don't worry about that. We're also going to taste some beers today. And we're also going to do our hops of the week as always to finish this off. But before we get to all that, we still want to thank our sponsor at Route 11 Chips. The best chips here in the Shenandoah Valley with great flavors such as barbecue, Chesapeake crab, and salt and pepper. 25 plus years of being in the business has led to some damn fine chips, so make sure you check out your local stores to grab your chip bag today. Okay, lights, beer, action.
Holy shit. What are we doing?
You're not going to let me talk first, are you?
No, I was just ending with the music. I'm just excited to be here.
I know it's been a while. I know
has.
it has been a long time.
Yep.
It's been about a month and a half, I want to say. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Pub Talk. We'll give you a little life update and bring you back on board here on what's happened.
Yep.
So basically, what has happened with the show is that we still want to do this show. We do. This is something that allows us to get away from the real world every single week. It's something that people. It's a hobby. It's something that we love to talk about every single week. It gets us away from the real single week. I don't give a shit who listens to me. I don't really care how many people listen to me. I just want to do this because I think that talking about sports and drinking beer with your dad and also your buddies is something that seems to get lost nowadays, and I think that that's why we do this show. Now that being said, I started a new job, and my computer. I have a gaming computer, and it needed to be sent back in for repairs because it was very slow. It was degrading. It was not working right, and it just got fixed. It just now got fixed in the past couple days. The CPU cooler on it was not working properly, so they needed to replace it, and now they have stress tested it and ran it, and so it will be working. So the plan is that now, when I get that computer back, we will be able to run the show from two different places and be able to communicate over something that's called Discord. If you don't know what Discord is, you can look it up. It's a very popular site. It's kind of like Xbox Live parties. It's kind of like being at a party with your friends and talking, and this way we can also record. But I didn't have a computer for the time being to be able to record on it, and so that's why the show was on a hiatus, and also me starting a new job. I am still in the same profession that I am in, so it took a little bit of time to get accustomed to what I do, and then also the computer problem is something that I ran into because, trust me, I wanted to do this show. I don't like being lazy or having that much time off. I like being busy. So not doing this show really sucked. Also, another life update.
Yeah.
We lost one of our
family members.
One of our best guests. If you follow on Facebook, we have a cat who always joins us. His name is Coach. He passed away. We do not know how.
We don't.
And I
the
mean
vet
that
doesn't know anything.
In the sense of the word, that like it is very mysterious how he passed away. So, but he was a good cat, and we're sad to see him go. But maybe Tom will jump up here every once in a while to annoy us.
Maybe he'll bring his big ass down here and say hi.
So there's another update.
Yeah.
But like I said, this show I don't care who listens to it. I don't care how many people listen to it. I just want to do the show every single week. I want to do it as much as I can because it makes me happy, and that's why I'm still back here today to be able to do it. I only live an hour down the road, but I'm busy as hell right now. But
he's here because it's his mother's birthday, and we're serving burgers. So that's enough to get him in. Get him involved.
I'm the one who's going to have to go cook him after this. So, little life update right there for you on why we haven't been doing the show. It's not because I don't like you people. No, it's because we literally just have not been able to do it.
Yeah, we ran into a few roadblocks, and that shit kind of happens, and you got to deal with it, and we're moving on.
And you would think that around this time, a little bit ago, that there wouldn't be much sports to talk about. Well, I got to tell you that usually there isn't. Right about now. But holy shit, a lot has happened.
Yep.
We'll start off with the MLB. We live in Virginia, and I think the heart of DC got its heart ripped out with what had happened.
There are a lot of people say that was coming along anyway, that they were going to dismantle their team because it was the thing to do. And you rebuild and you reset up the things, and Scherzer's 37 years old, or he's going to be 37, and so it's, do you continue to pay him, what is it, 26 million, 27 million? There are very few teams that are willing to pay that the amount of money for a guy like that, but
but the Dodgers are one of them.
Yeah, I think so.
Him and the Yankees now.
Yeah, I look at Scherzer, though, with the Dodgers acquisition of him, I look at him as a rented position. They're renting him. They really are. He's not going to be back next year unless something astoundingly big happens. Somebody else from the Dodgers steps away. They can't keep him. There's just no way.
I don't know if they can afford 3 big-time pitchers as their starting pitchers.
They went out. They got Trey Turner, and they're going to get Trey Turner for this year and next year. So when you look at their middle infield with Corey Seager at shortstop and Trey Turner at second, because Turner was a shortstop. Now he's going to play second. You have a pretty solid infield when you took Justin Turner at first and maybe Max Muncy at first. And then who knows what's going on with Pujols. But for the rest of the year, you're going to have Justin Turner on the corner, Corey Seager at short, Trey Turner at second, and Pujols and Muncy back, probably trading off a few nights at first. The rest of their lineup, I don't know what's going on with them. They went after these blockbuster players, and they're just not playing well, and they're not healthy. There is freaking Kershaw talking about freaking having muscle or sore elbow. They're just not 100%. They went after Cole Hamels too, another 37-year-old guy. From the Braves. They picked him up. He barely played last year. His last outing was 2019. So it's been a while since he's been out there. But you can go back and look at him, 2008 World Series MVP. You add him, another left-hander. He's another left-hander.
That is a name from...
Yeah, blast from the past.
That Phillies team back in 08, 09, yeah.
Dominant World Series MVP, man. Yeah.
Holy shit!
So the Dodgers have
team. Yeah, it's a forgotten team.
The Dodgers, I would say, if you were talking winners and losers, the Dodgers hit a home run. They also got Danny Duffy too, but he's on the injured list, so you're not going to see anything out of him. The big thing is they did not actually need Trey Turner. They didn't need him. But they took him anyway. I mean, he's got a phenomenal. That kid can rake it. He's a great hitter. He's probably outside of a healthy Mookie Betts, he's probably the fastest guy in Major League Baseball from first to third. Period.
The last guy that I remember used to be the fastest guy in baseball that I remember was a guy by the name of Jose Reyes back in early to late 2000s, 2010s. Jose Reyes. Dude was fastest player in the MLB.
I never thought for 1 second that the Dodgers would have the potential to get Scherzer and Turner and Duffy, even though Duffy's hurt,
And it all
or Cole
happened
Hamels, and it just bang, it just freaking
It just happened.
It happened, and Scherzer pitched the other night, and I was a little, I'm not sure what the hell's going on with this. And then, had a rough first inning, gave up a home run, and then he just settled in, had 10 Ks.
Like I said, DC got their heart ripped out because not even just them. Real quick, like the Washington Wizards, Russell Westbrook gets traded to the Los Angeles
Lakers. Yeah.
Now, and you go, what the hell just happened here? DC literally had a shifting from a booming place of sports, with the Capitals and Nationals being World Series and Stanley Cup champions, to now being a rebuilding period. Now, this is going to be a part of the years where they're going to have to take their lumps again.
Yeah, and that's sad for DC sports because I think there are a lot of people throughout DC and Northern Virginia that want to, the Caps, between the Caps, the Wizards, and the freaking Nats. People want to see them successful. They really do. And then not too far away is Baltimore, and there are a lot of freaking Ravens fans, huge Raven fans. But, yeah, Washington football team, they got nowhere to go but up right now. They have the youngest, most dynamic defensive line in all of football. I'd like to see them make a splash. I don't know. But you're right. I think between the Wizards and the Nats being dismantled, they're literally dismantled. They took younger guys. They talk about the things that go on in sports as business first.
Yep.
And maybe maybe they were maybe a little cash strapped, and this is something that they had to pull off. Or because, they really invested a lot of money in Strasburg. They invested a shit ton of money in him. So you go with the younger guy, not the 37-year-old Scherzer. So, but the Dodgers, like I said, the Dodgers are just renting him. So he's going to cash in big in free agency. It will be astounding to me if the Dodgers could keep him. Well, I just know he likes being there.
I know I said that, Washington's taking its lumps. Well, it's still not even as bad as the Pittsburgh Pirates. They literally have cancer lumps. They literally have lumps that are dead in the water. They can't get fixed.
Yeah.
Like I said,
And when you talk about Major League Baseball and the trade deadlines, I think it's the. Let me go here and let me check my notes. Let me check it. Let me just do it real quick. It's the Atlanta Braves. They freaking. I think is it the Atlanta guy who somebody from Pittsburgh went to Atlanta, so they poached another young talent from Pittsburgh. Yeah,
the Washington still they have Pittsburgh's two best hitters from last year. They have both Bell and Harrison on their team, and I go,
it happened again.
How the
though.
fuck does this happen?
It happened again. Oh. It happened again. The San Francisco Giants, who are playing astoundingly well, pick up Chris Bryant, a young power hitting, hitting for average kind of guy.
That was hard because he was like, that was his whole dream was to play for them, and just
right.
It's hard seeing that now.
Yeah, but he adds another dimension to their team, an already good team that makes you wonder how good can the Giants be? Because right now they beat Milwaukee last night. They were down 2-0.
The NL West is
oh my god,
the most highly competitive division in baseball.
And the thing about it is the Dodgers are beat up. Like they got so many stinking little nagging injuries. You have MVPs, freaking Bellinger and Betts, and neither one of them is 100%. I think freaking Bellinger's hitting like 100.
Yeah,
$175.
That's been like the biggest question mark for them.
Yeah.
Is like
huge.
What has happened to this guy?
Yeah.
He's come off a year where it was like you don't want to fucking pitch against this guy, and now he just can't even hit. And he looks like I don't even know what to say.
Yeah, he's just not where he's not even remotely any MVP caliber. His swing is off. It's like he's got something deep down in his mechanics he can't solve. Now he did home run last night. He tied the game with his home run last night. But he's just not there. And I'm telling you, he's hitting about $180. So it's really hard to figure out where the Dodgers are going, and is this trade deadline really worth it for them? I know one team that is streaking, playing way better than they had early in the season. And since the All-Star break have won, I think, 6 in a row. I think last night was 7 in a row. Is the Spankies, the New York Yankees. They added Joey Gallo, who can freaking rake all over the yard, and they got Anthony Rizzo. And I think Rizzo, in his first 6 or 7 games, he hit 5 home runs. The Yankees, if they could get healthy and get on track, although they lost Aroldis Chapman last night, he's got some elbow swelling or something. They're going to put him on the injured list. The fucking Yankees could be a handful. I think the Dodgers have a dynamic batting order with speed and power, but the Yankees, with freaking Aaron Judge and Stanton, they have fucking murderers row lined up. They could be very, very dangerous down the stretch. Now, can they get pitching? Can they get it done pitching-wise?
I mean, that Garrett Cole pickup has to work out.
Yeah, he's not been the big bang for the buck. The other question,
yeah, it's because they're not banging on the trash cans. They can't really help out with him over there.
Yeah. The other thing is in the American League. Were there any big splashes in the American League? Maybe the White Sox, maybe getting Craig Kimbrell
they have the best alternate uniforms.
Yeah, and their bullpen
South side. That's the best black and white uniform.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
I love it.
It's just a classy I won't say classy, a classic look to it.
You're competing against the Cubs that have never changed their anything.
Right,
ever.
right.
And you see that, and I go, that is.
You talk about
smooth.
A team dismantling themselves.
It's the Cubs, yeah.
Yeah, they just let all that.
It's crazy that 5 years ago they were finally World Series champions, and now it's just a completely different franchise.
Yeah, they set to rebuild. That's what teams do.
It'll take another 128 years.
For them to come
World
back.
Series, yep.
The only other team I can think of that even remotely won on this trade deadline day, maybe Atlanta. But they didn't get any superstar power or anything like that. I think they just filled in a few gaps for a team that was in the National League Championship Series last year and lost to the Dodgers. They came up short. But, that's just the way it is. The fact that Ronald Acuna is not coming back, you have to figure out a way to make things happen. When you have a young superstar like that go down, torn ACL, just ugly. That's I feel bad for guys like that. But I don't know. I think when your grandfather came in, he's a huge Nats fan. And so we were talking about this, and he was like, the Dodgers got Scherzer and Turner and Hamels and Duffy. They got all these guys. But what actually did the Nats actually get? They got 4 of the best prospects that you could possibly imagine in baseball. The one thing about the Los Angeles Dodgers is that over the years, their freaking young farm system and developmental system has been phenomenal. Just outstanding. And so when the Nats landed these guys, yeah, it's going to be big for them. You're going to have young guys coming into this network of championship caliber baseball, and you never know what's going to happen. You never know. So,
all right.
Yeah, I'm thinking. Yeah, I don't think the Mets picked up anybody. They grabbed Rich Hill, Trevor Williams. Jacob deGrom goes down, the most dynamic freaking shutdown pitcher in baseball, right after the trade deadline goes down with elbow soreness and shit like that. So I don't see the Nats being over the top bad. I don't see the Mets being over the top. They just didn't get enough, and the same thing goes with San Diego. For me, those are my winners and not exactly losers, but draw evens, I guess you could say. The Padres, it wasn't a bad deadline for them. They got Adam Frazier, and Adam Frazier's freaking, he could fucking hit like a ton. So We'll see. We'll see what happens down the stretch. I think that the most dynamic teams are the Yankees and the Dodgers, and we're going to see it all unfold. I know everybody talks about the Giants. The Giants have played well all season. San Diego's young and dynamic.
That's the team that scares me the most.
Yeah.
That's what you see in teams that, like, look, they may not win it all this year, or they may not get to the big game this year, but I'm telling you, wait till next year or the year after when San Diego is better, and just because they're just starting out again, because the Padres went through years of being the worst team in the MLB. Now, I know it's crazy, but in the time that we did not do this show, there was no football. There's actually being football played now. The Hall of Fame game has happened. We won't dive into that as much. I won't say any. It's preseason football. There's less preseason football and more regular season football though this year. You have 17 games now on the schedule. So 18 weeks of football. So you get
That's crazy, isn't it?
You get one less week of preseason and one more week of regular season coming up. Now, a lot has happened though training camp wise.
Yeah. What do you think's the top thing? What do you think is the top story? You think it's Wentz? Got to be Wentz going down, you think?
No. I do think it's the whole Green Bay situation.
Yeah. Yep. That fucking douche. I don't care what you call it. I don't care how you slice it. He's a fucking douche.
He's a douche, but I respect him more now, though, of what he's done.
Why?
Because it's kind of like what Brady did. He's like, dude, I don't want to be here anymore. I see the writing on the wall.
I don't see that at all.
I do.
I see him manipulating a franchise, and Brady didn't manipulate a franchise. I think it's freaking him trying to get the extension he wants that puts him into a situation where he gets to control the new deal. He gets to do everything else. And that to me is... So
you see this as a power move?
Yes, I see it as him getting what he wants. In conjunction,
thought about it like that.
That's what I'm thinking. They offered him a 2-year contract extension. That would have tied him to Green because he's got 3 years right on his deal now. He's got 3 years remaining on his deal. They tried to package a 2-year deal for him to wrap him up for 5 more. 5 more years, right? And so he's currently under a contract until 2023. But when you think about it, he wants a new fucking deal, so that it's difficult.
I truly think he wants out.
You think he wants out, but I'm telling you, he's fucking trying to manipulate the Packers to make it almost impossible to get rid of him. You have to basically get rid of fucking what's his face. You have to get rid of who's the young kid? You got to get rid of
what are you talking about?
Love. You got to get rid of him.
Oh,
because I think he's trying to secure the fact that they drafted him last year. That pissed him off, and he's like, "I thought I was your quarterback, and I want a fucking deal that kid never sees the field." I guarantee you, because he's a selfish fucking prick. You can't tell me he's not trying to manipulate a long-term deal that makes it impossible for the Packers to get rid of him, unless it's on his sweetheart deal, and it's fucking wrong.
The only thing I'm saying is that if that's the whole spiel, then he's being very delusional about this whole situation of saying that it's all on them. It's like, you fucking lost the game too, bud. You fucking lost that game, and when your defense literally, picked off the greatest quarterback ever 3 times at the end of the game, and you couldn't score, and I go, if you're just trying to say that it's on your coaching staff that you didn't do this and this,
because if you look at what the Packers have done, when it comes to signing people, they don't give extended bonuses beyond your signing bonuses. They don't do that. That's not what they do.
Well, they're also the one franchise though that is completely different from everybody else.
I get that. So why should they? They're trying to avoid all these huge guarantees after your signing bonus. Dude, get your fucking name on the contract, wear the green and gold, play fucking football, try to win a championship, and we'll love you.
It's also,
what else do you fucking need? You need $50 million non-guaranteed? Do you need $50 million a year to make it feel like you're wanted? Give me a fucking break. Barry McCockiner, ultra weed hater, that fucking douche on freaking on Twitter. Fuck him. He keeps knocking Brady about what Brady has done in the playoffs. I get all that. I get all that. But if there's a whole shitload of people that freaking take stock in that.
Yeah, it's because they have never played a down of football in their life.
And it's
also have never been competitive in anything that they have ever done in their life.
And they've never coached. And I'm thinking to myself, Aaron Rodgers, I'm not taking away anything away from his talent. I'm not taking anything away from his talent. He probably has the biggest arm in the NFL.
He has the best arm, yeah.
Period. I mean, he can throw the ball with his wrist at his fucking waist farther than I could freaking run and crow hop it and throw it. There's just no way.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, when you look at the shit that people spew about a guy like him versus Brady, and they try to match them up, it's like, really? Where's your fucking leadership? Where is your freaking stand?
That's why I never listen to those people.
I'm like, I can't. It drives me nuts.
They'll only account for the stats when it comes to that bullshit. And I go, yeah, I don't care, because the stat that matters to me is the wins. That's literally what matters to me.
I honestly believe
care.
that Aaron Rodgers is manipulating, and this is me, and I don't give a shit. Ultra weed hater.
It's like if you ever.
I don't give a shit.
It's like if you ever play Call of Duty. Look, if you fucking win the game and you go like 11-30 or something,
and I've done that a couple of times.
I go, and the other team calls you trash. It's just like, well, we won the game, so what? If I'm trash and we won, what does that fucking make you?
Yeah, no kidding.
It's kind of like that same conversation. Like, it's like, well, Brady's just not as good as Rodgers. I go, when, why do you start this shit? Why do you start this? Yeah, talent-wise, Brady has literally said that multiple times. Rodgers is the best talent he has ever seen when it comes to the quarterback position. He is humbled by everybody that he comes up against. But you know why he does that? It's because it fucking motivates him more and more
but
every single day.
Arm versus arm, talent versus this. He doesn't, in my fucking mind, he doesn't. Give me the arm. Are you fucking kidding me? Joe Montana is fucking better than Peyton Manning is better than fucking Rodgers. I don't give a shit. Those guys were leaders who led their teams, and without any of this nonsense, this fucking contract horseshit that you felt like you were being snubbed because they freaking drafted Jordan Love. Fuck you. You're trying to leverage your team. You're trying to leverage your team to make it financially a publicly owned freaking team. You're trying to make it financially impossible for them to move on for you because of who they drafted. Well, guess what? You fucking suck when you do that. It is about you. It is about you. It is about you. And you can fucking lick a nut. Well, that's just bullshit if you ask me.
I mean, you could say that, but what happens if he just leaves because he doesn't want to be there then?
Then you don't need him anyway, and you didn't want him anyway. You really want somebody like that?
I mean,
I would just tell him.
The Raiders wanted Antonio Brown for all the bullshit that he put.
Exactly, and look what he created for them.
Yeah,
he created a black hole. And then where did Antonio Brown end up?
A Super Bowl.
He ended up with a Super Bowl and a humbled son of a bitch too. He was humbled.
It's crazy what winning will do to you.
Yes.
It's crazy
what a team bigger than a single individual will do to somebody.
Yeah.
And the Packers are not a team that
it's bigger. It's bigger when it's happened to you more times than you being a bitch and a diva. It's because you went through
bitch diva.
Well, I'm saying you went through it with Pittsburgh. Exactly. It's like, yeah, Pittsburgh's not budging. Like, you're not getting anywhere.
And we both took our
Arians.
hats off.
It's like Arians is literally taking the same fucking things that he learned in Pittsburgh.
Yeah. Look, Belichick tried it too. And I think that would have worked out had AB not been in trouble off the field. That didn't have anything to do with Brady. That didn't have anything to do with Belichick or the Patriot organization. It was his personal circumstances off the field that fucked all that up. And then when Brady comes and knocks on your door again and says, look, I want you to come and play receiver for me. But if you think you're going to be a freaking diva, well, you're not going to win a Super Bowl. And you can sit your freaking ass on the sideline and wish you had a team. And then he freaking bowed down. He did what he was supposed to do. You shut your mouth, you work hard, you play hard, and it paid off.
I mean,
it did.
I mean, I don't really think too much on this except for the fact that, like, yeah, he did get everything that he wanted. So he got a contract voided after the end of this year. But he also got his best friend back. Like, he got, let's say, his second best friend. He didn't get Jordy Nelson back, but he got Randall Cobb back. So let's say that. Like, he did get that as a part of the deal. But other than that, like, what's going to happen at the end of this year? I mean, yeah, you're in a situation where the Packers have been... It's crazy to me how the Packers have not been in a fucking Super Bowl because of how good they are. It really is. They are one of the best teams in the NFL every single year.
I get it.
Ask Coach. He's a Bears fan. They kick their ass every single game, every single year, twice a year. And yet
the better
somehow
part of a decade.
They
can't get out of their own damn way
in the fucking Super Bowl.
And why is that, you think?
Well, this year it's because of the gatekeeper who just found his way into Tampa, and also the fact that when you win 5 games in a row, I kind of think that you're not probably going to win this one. When you win, well, excuse me, up until that point they had won 7. The Bucs had won 7 games in a row. They were 6-5. They finished 11-5, and then won their first 2 playoff games. It's a bit of a different story there.
After the loss to what was it? After the loss to
Kansas City,
they didn't lose the rest of the year.
They didn't lose a game. So like, I think that's a different situation. But also, I go, it doesn't matter to me. Like, if you think that you're the best team, you still have to beat that team that's scary right now. You just have to.
And you know as well as I do, that all comes down to health. In this elongated season, even though it's not super elongated, there's one less preseason, one more regular season. A lot of shit can happen in that time.
And that's why the postseason is completely different, though. It doesn't matter because you pull out everything that you possibly can to win a game. Everything you possibly can. And you go balls to the wall. But that's why also teams that are led by Brady is like, don't be afraid of them. Like, just because they've won this many games doesn't mean that they're going to beat us. You just go out there and do your job. But, like, that I would have to say that's the biggest thing of the offseason is the whole Rodgers debacle. Is he going to play in Green Bay? Is he not? Right. I mean, there's another one. Josh Allen just signed a fucking enormous contract with Buffalo.
If you look at it over the 8 years, it's just shy of $300 million. I think it's $284, and that's an equal to about 35, almost $36 million a season.
Man,
35. Oh, here it is. Allen's contract has a base value of $284 million over 8 years, which equals an average of $35.5 million at signing.
Man.
The extension has a base value of $258 million over 6 years, creating new money average $43 million.
Man, it's
he got $16.5 million to put his name on the line.
Man, it's crazy how
when I don't mean to cut you off, but listen to this shit. Listen to this shit. So they compared Josh Allen's contract with Mahomes's. Mahomes received $10 million signing bonus. Josh Allen gets 16.5. Mahomes had $63 million fully guaranteed at signing. Allen gets $100 million fully guaranteed at signing. That's crazy.
Just think a couple years ago, Buffalo was not that good of a team. I'm serious. They were a franchise that was not very good in terms of like being. They were a good defensive team, but they were never a star-studded offensive team. And now that Allen has been their starting quarterback, they have been a very potent team. The only thing I'll say about this contract now, though, is that he's still very young. That's the only thing I'll say about that is that when I look at a difference between Mahomes and Allen, I go, Mahomes is just fucking different to me. I don't see that with Allen.
He's a rare.
I don't see that with Allen.
When you look at his contract, as I examine this while you're talking and stuff like that, and it matches what you're saying though, because if you look at Mahomes,
yeah,
he doesn't start well, he finishes exceptionally well.
But also his seasons have just been, it's a fucking highlight reel.
Yeah. Yeah.
Every single game, you are in the game. It doesn't matter when that Super Bowl. Guess what happens if you catch the fucking balls that Mahomes throws to you? You probably have a closer game than what it was in the Super Bowl. You just do.
Yeah.
Now, from Allen, he's played in 3 playoff games. I'm not saying that is bad or anything, because trust me, there are plenty of quarterbacks who have not played in that many. He's played in more playoff games than Matthew Stafford. Okay, let me just say that Matthew Stafford has played in 3 playoff games.
How do you think that works out? How do you think that works out for him?
In 12 years. In 12 years, Matthew Stafford has played in 3 playoff games. Josh Allen has played in 3. He's played in just as many as Matthew Stafford. Okay. He's played. I have to say that, like, it's honestly mind-boggling to me that's something that's happened. Because I go, okay, but does that really mean that he deserves $284 million? I don't know. The thing is that I just look at these contracts and I go, man, you guys get one good season and you really want this kid to be with you, but like, you just gave him, unless he's a hardworking kid, an incentive to not really do shit now if he gets hurt. Like, it's the whole Carson Wentz thing.
Carson Wentz, he freaking breaks. He's going to be out 5 to 12 weeks. I just saw that. How fucking crazy is that? Broken bone in his foot. What do the Giants do? The Giants are a fucking mess.
Oh.
And then you look at
Joe Judge, line him up.
You look at the Colts and the Giants. You look at what happens to them. What do you do if you're the Colts? Do you
Jacoby
trade?
Brissett?
No, he's somewhere else, man.
He is, sorry.
Yeah.
Jacob Eason.
You got Sam Ellinger and you got freaking Brett Hundley. Jacob Eason is there.
I was going to say
last year's 4th round pick. He's ready to play, I guess.
So he's there. Okay.
So what do? Do you try and find another guy? Do you go out and rent? Do you go to the Bears? Do you go to the Bears and grab Nick Foles?
I don't know. Oh my God! If that was,
you see what that does?
Yeah.
You have a veteran quarterback where you have freaking Sam Ellinger, Brett Hundley, rookie Jalen Morton, and Jacob Eason.
Put the Ellinger kid in. You've seen crazier things. You just have.
I'm just saying, you think about them, and then go and that's freaking in Indy. Now, the one saving grace that I think that Indy has. They got a great fucking coach. Frank Reich's a good fucking coach.
They have a great defense, too, that is just
solid.
They're
fierce. Solid.
They're a very fierce team.
So that's what I'm saying. Do you go and rent a freaking Frank Reich disciple in freaking Foles? Do you go and do that? And until freaking Wentz can come back, and then you got fucking Wentz and Foles in a controversy again with 4 youngins underneath? Not going to happen. That strikes me as the same shit that's happening to the Giants. The Giants are undergoing this change in their team where their head coach, now granted, Joe Judge, I don't want it to be like he's a bad guy. I think last year, after freaking Saquon Barkley went down, what do you do? What do you do? I mean, he was a huge, huge piece of your team. And when he goes down, your team starts to hit the shitter. So, part of me says, Joe Judge, could he be losing control of the Giants?
I don't know.
I mean, they had the massive brawl in practice. You were getting ready to start that.
Shit happens, though.
Yeah, but that's the kind of stuff that causes your team to fracture, and when it fractures, you're done. You are not going to win. You're going to get your ass kicked.
Yeah, I don't see that, though, with a coach like him, because right away he's like, yeah, get on the fucking line. You guys want to act like you're above everybody else just because you make millions of dollars? Get on the line. I don't see that happening.
The only thing that's different is I think Frank Reich is going to get a bad freaking rap because of a guy like Carson Wentz going down and having young guys trying to support him and keep him going. So
like
I can
said, put the Ellinger kid in.
Okay, but the flip side is the Giants, and you know as well as I do, fucking Joe Judge fell out of the Nick Saban freaking Bill Belichick tree of coaching. And how are you going to go into a team that has that many veterans? You brought Logan Ryan in, and he's the guy that fucking started the fight. You brought Logan Ryan in there for that express purpose, and now you're going to play hardball with these guys? Like you said, you put them on the line. What'd they do? What'd they have to do? They did fucking 100-yard sprints and push-ups and shit for the fight, this brawl that broke out. You do that to a team, and what do you think's going to happen to that leadership on that team? What do you think about those veterans? What do you think they're going to do?
Yeah, I don't know.
They're going to drop a giant deuce on your fucking head coach. It's not gonna go well. One of my other things is Dak. What do you think about Dak?
You know, what's crazy is that like I might actually have to cheer for the Cowboys this year.
What? What did you say?
And it's not because of Dak. It's because of the Parsons kid. I think that if I look at Micah Parsons, I want to see him go out there, and I want to see just how good he can really be because, man, I just remember when he played at Penn State, like that last year, he was phenomenal. I in that Memphis game, his last game, because he didn't play in the COVID season. I mean, for Dak though, I don't really give a shit.
Well, I want to see him play. I just want him to play. You know what I mean? I think
now he's got his contract money. Now fucking play.
Well, you know, he came off a pretty gruesome fucking injury.
I'm well aware. I'm very well aware. But at the same time, I don't care anymore. It's in the past. You move on from those types of things. People forget Tom Brady had a torn ACL 1 year. So you move on from injuries that impact you. You just do. I'm sure Brady remembers that injury like the back of his hand, but he moves on from it.
So here's my other two components. Joe Burrow. What do you think about Joe? Do you bring him along slowly, or do you let him go at his pace, even though it might be a little bit faster than you want him to be? Do you cool his jets and you say, Joey, you don't have to fucking show us how to play, but at the same time, if you know he doesn't get up the game speed standards, at what point do you shut him down and go, look, you're not playing in the preseason when he might need preseason reps?
I don't know, because he's not even going to be able to fucking stay on his own 2 feet with that offensive line, so I don't know what he's going to do regardless.
He is participating in camp, not 100%. The way that looks, he's not 100%. You as the coach, what do you do?
Okay, what were the two options again?
You either let him come along at his speed where he wants to push it, or you just go, hey, Joe, you're the fucking franchise QB. You're going to do what I tell you to do because I'm going to fucking lose my job and you're going to be on the freaking operating table again if you don't do it properly.
I say that you let him go at his own pace. Personally, I mean, he's young. He is. He's a younger quarterback still.
Okay.
So, like, his body's going to heal a little bit better than a lot of other people would if they get a torn ACL.
Granted, but you know as well as I do, and I keep saying this, it comes down to this. The NFL is not played, yes, it's played in a physical sense. You have to be in a physical sense. But if you're not 100% mentally sound, if you're not mentally focused and you're coming off a fucking knee injury and you're not 100% in practice, how the hell are you going to participate and pull off game speed?
Yeah, but
how are you going to fucking do that?
I mean, but that's also another thing that I like about Joe Burrow is that he's just different like that, though. That's the thing that I like about him is that he just
but like I told you, I gave you the scenario of a coach, though. If you let him go the way he wants to go, and he gets hurt, you're going to get fucking fired. So do you pull the reins in on a guy like that, or do you just say, you know what, fuck it, this kid knows what to do. He knows how to get things done. Joe, I need you to get reps today. You get the reps you need to get, and then you're going to get to the trainer. You're going to get to rehab. You're going to do whatever it is you have to do.
Coach, if you're...
Do you think a mental issue is any of an issue with him at all?
Not for me, no.
Okay.
And
I'm-
here's the
I'm
thing
in
about
agreement.
you saying that the coach is going to get fired. Zach Taylor knows very well that, you know, he's under hot water. But at the same time, I go, if you're a head coach, you can't fucking worry about, oh my God, am I going to get fired? Am I going to get... You already have too much. It's just like in real life. You have to take risks.
Yeah,
you have to do things that, guess what,
I'm
aren't by
seeing-
the book. And Zach Taylor is also young enough to realize, like, look, I'm with a bad team, and if I can get my quarterback back on the field...
Can you name one backup in Cincy?
Ryan, no, he's not there anymore.
He went out in week 10 last year, torn ACL week 10. Name me another viable player beyond Joe Burrow in Cincinnati. Because I've got 3. They are young. You want me to give you one?
Who?
Kyle Shermer. Yeah. Who? Brandon Allen.
Brandon Allen. Holy fuck, yeah.
Eric Dungy.
I don't even know who that is.
Yeah, exactly. And you're going to put Joe out there who may not be 100% physically or mentally. And I think if when you look at it that way,
Well, guess what? Draft a fucking offensive line then in your draft if you want this shit to go right.
Right.
Don't draft your best buddy from college.
The next two, Trevor Lawrence. Did you read any articles about Trevor Lawrence?
No, why?
Up and down, streaky, not 100%. Just he's a young kid playing in the NFL. It's not Clemson where you beat up people in the ACC. This
is Jacksonville.
Yeah,
where we get our ass kicked. Okay,
where we go 1-0 in week
1-0 and we're satisfied. We're satisfied,
and we're gonna drop the next 50. In this case, the next 16.
It's crazy that one team was Indy. I'm baffled that one team that they beat was Indy somehow. Yeah.
And then the other one is Zach Wilson. You said you were going to watch who?
Who?
Who did you say you were going to watch and you wanted to keep an eye on?
Oh, I said Micah Parsons.
Micah Parsons. You wanted to watch Dallas?
Yeah, because
I
like
want to
Micah.
watch the Jets. Because I think Zach Wilson, if you can keep him upright, and even if you don't keep him, I don't think, if I'm the coach of the fucking Jets, I am not going to play him like a typical pro quarterback. I'm going to use his skills based on what he's done in college, and that is moving around and making things happen. And by all accounts, when you read the reports coming out of the Jets training camp, they love this kid. They freaking drawing minor comparisons to, dare I say, Mahomes, just simply because of his running ability. And the fact that he has a huge arm. So, nobody said anything about freaking Mahomes before he burst on the scene.
I don't care. It's not even the fact that, like...
So why not? Why not? What happens if this
Well, you're right. Hold on. You're right. Because, the Kansas City Chiefs did not win a Super Bowl in over...
50 years.
50 years. The Jets have done the same damn thing but they've been more of a laughing stock.
Yeah.
So
who
knows?
They've been horrible.
You just don't know. But I'm not trying to laugh about Zach. I'm just trying to laugh about, if you're going to make a comparison, you have to look at the fucking team around that comparison. Because if you still look at Mahomes, you still look at Kelsey, you still look at Hill, you still look at Clyde Edwards-Helaire, you still look at those guys. When you look at the Jets, you look at the fucking Jets. You don't have anybody else.
The first thing you see is a shitty green uniform.
Yes. You look at their uniforms and you go, why would I want to watch this? And then you look at their players and you go, I now know why I don't want to watch this.
So when you look at the other top quarterbacks, you're looking at freaking Justin Fields, who's clearly behind Andy Dalton. As much as they want him to be better, Andy Dalton's a veteran guy, and I've always said that Andy Dalton was serviceable. But it's not.
That's a damn shame.
Everybody freaking.
Nope, it's a shame.
Okay.
It doesn't matter.
Everybody knocked
sucks.
his shit. Everybody knocked his shit when he was in Dallas, and he played better than people gave him credit for. Trey Lance in freaking San Francisco, he's clearly not ready. Jimmy G's a much better guy. Jimmy G's still young, still got it all.
Wait, you mean I was right?
Yes.
You mean I was right out of the gate? Oh, fuck me, right?
But when you start,
I have a microphone.
Yeah,
I know when to talk. Sorry.
Well, no, I'm just saying. But when you start listening to some of these reports coming out of these training camps, and then you've got veteran guys saying, "Hey, look, Justin Fields is a viable solution for us for the future. He's not right now. He needs to learn behind Andy Dalton, but he has Russell Wilson type of moves in his body. You look at Kirk Cousins and
yeah, coach, but
Kellen Mond behind him. You're one play away from being burst onto the scene, and you'll see what happens with those guys.
Yeah, coach, but the only difference is about, like, if you're going to make a Russell Wilson comparison, Russell Wilson literally started day one because he was so much better than everybody else. And if you're going to make a comparison about him to Justin Fields, he needs to be the starter week one. Because let's also not forget, when Russell Wilson got drafted by Seattle...
No, he isn't saying he is Russell Wilson. He just says he has flashes of a guy like Russell.
But if you're trying to be that type of guy, let's also not forget that when Seattle drafted him, they also signed Matt Flynn from Green Bay in a big signing. And it was like a signing where you're like, you're giving this guy this much money?
They gave him
ship
a
him
shit
over there,
ton of money,
and guess
didn't they?
what?
He
Russell
fell
Wilson
right on his face, didn't he?
Beat him out.
He felt. I mean, he just wasn't the guy. He had a couple of good games, and he was worth a lot of money. And then all of a sudden, done.
Yeah, for Green Bay, he only had a couple of games where he showed flashes.
Yeah. That's
all
what
right.
I'm thinking.
You want to get the beers?
Yeah. I just want to have one more thing.
Yeah.
And this has to do with Peyton Manning going into the Hall of Fame. How cool is it that he wants Tom Brady part of his induction ceremony? He is going to have Tom Brady there.
Well,
because
they had him there last night.
I know. I'm just saying, how cool is that shit where you have the utmost respect for somebody else for how many years they play against each other? 15 years?
They were the rivals. They were, the two that would duke it out.
They were black and white. They were, playing in peanuts. They were the whole.
They were the Montana and Elway.
Yeah,
they were the two that won that.
But how badass is it that fucking Peyton Manning says, "I want Tom Brady there at my inductions"?
Because he's a class act. That's just who he is. No matter what you say.
I'm not saying anything negative about fucking Peyton Manning.
I will always say that
except
Tom
his
Brady
neck
is the best.
licks ass. His neck is.
But if there
piece
was
of
ever
shit.
a guy that literally just made every single game competitive with him, it was
Two
Tom. It was Peyton.
The two apex competitors. You know what I mean? You talk about apex predators. These two fucking animals. You're talking about a T-Rex and I don't know what else, a Velociraptor,
And that's-
freaking. But when you think about those things, your mother just texted us and says that the Dodgers are wearing Adidas shoes.
Okay.
So she just texted me.
It's not part of the
I just
uniform."
noticed. No, those are all.
No, but it's the jersey
player
and the pants. So yeah. It happens in the NFL. They wear Nike jerseys and pants, but their gloves and cleats can be whatever they want. Because they have their own partnerships with other companies. So, but I've always said that Peyton is when people talk about Rodgers, I go, what happened to Peyton, man? Like, why don't you guys ever talk about Peyton? Because Peyton was always there with Brady. They always met in the biggest game. They could never meet in the Super Bowl. Okay, that was always the
Yeah,
thing, is that they
that's
could
true.
never meet in the
That's
Super
true.
Bowl, but they could always meet in the toughest game. People will always say, players will always tell you, the toughest game is always the championship game. It's never the Super Bowl, because in the championship game, you're going up against the team that either bested you or you bested them, and they know everything about you. And so you have to basically do it all again one more time.
Yeah. I'm just glad you say that stuff, because those are the things that make sports special. And when you have somebody with the caliber of those two guys, and one guy who was first ballot, absolutely no doubt, freaking Peyton Manning, going to freaking enter the Hall of Fame, to bring somebody along and go, you know what, for all of the shit we've been through, I need to have him there.
And I'm sure he'll have Peyton back for his
I think
ceremony.
so. And that's where I was going. And if it happened one way, it will happen the other. All right, so let me go get the beers. You want to do two?
Yeah,
Two's
that's
good.
fine. Yeah.
The other one's an IPA. We'll save for next show. I think we are going to have maybe one special guest, maybe two next show. So.
Anyway, but that wasn't even screw Peyton getting into the Hall of Fame. Troy Polamalu got into the Hall of Fame last night. Troy Polamalu, I mean, that was so. I was so happy when I watched that, because he was there with Dick LeBeau, giving that showing his shrine off, and I have to say, like, seeing Troy in there, one of the most dynamic players to ever play the game, and probably, in my heart, the best safety to ever play the game. I know Ed Reed is, something special. I think that Ed Reed is unreal, no question about it. But if I was to have any doubt, any question in my mind who was the best safety ever, I would say it's Troy. It was iconic to see that hair flopping around. When you saw that hair get near you on a play, just the iconic play against Tennessee where he jumped over the line of scrimmage before the ball was even snapped, and he perfectly timed it.
I got clean ones.
That is just...
Let me have that other one. I got some clean
When
glasses.
he
so
timed the
just give me a
snap so perfectly against Tennessee and jumped over the line and sacked the quarterback, I go, who the fuck does that? Nobody does. You tell me one other player that does that shit other than him. Nobody does it. Nobody has ever done it. You tell me who has done that. That's just one of those things. Another one, a diving one-handed interception, literally scooped it right off the ground, just got his hand perfectly underneath of it. One hand, like nobody did that like Troy. Sure, Ed was a ball hawk, but if there was ever a safety who was just all over the field and made so many iconic plays that you look at in football, it was Troy. It was. And Troy was also a different guy than Ed. Like, Troy was a very different guy. Like, Ed Reed came from the University of Miami. Like, he came from a big-time football school back in the day. And then Troy just comes from USC, and Troy is he's just on a different level. I don't know what it was, but he was just on a different level. And also, Troy made a lot more, like I said, iconic plays than what Ed Reed did. But it was special to see that. And also another one, Megatron getting in last night, Calvin Johnson. Bill Cowher got in last year, I thought.
Yeah, I know, but they didn't have the ceremony.
Oh, that's right. Yep, you're right. Bill Cowher getting in. That was great to see him as well, because, I mean, it's crazy how 1 year after they won the Super Bowl with him, he just didn't want to coach anymore. He was just like, I just don't have it in me to coach. I've done everything that I possibly can. I've won all I could possibly win now. And now he's finally in the Hall of Fame as well. So it's great to see that those Steelers players are in the Hall of Fame. And hopefully we'll see Ben there very soon. I hope he retires after this year. Just retire, Ben. It's okay. It's time for me to...
You say that, and then I saw a report on him at training camp, And Ben looked phenomenal. Not that he was physically great, but just
You have the beers?
yeah.
Oh,
He
okay.
was just happy. Like he was just.
Yeah, it's because he doesn't have to throw a 2-yard slant pass every single fucking play, probably. And he also.
No, but physically and emotionally, he looked content. Like this is. Matt Canada, new OC.
That's what I'm saying. It's a different offense. You got to be optimistic about it.
And maybe it fits more of a Pittsburgh style of football. How can you not be happy about having a guy like Najee Harris in your backfield?
Yep, that's another reason why that he's happy.
Yeah, so I hope the Steelers have a better season. Uh-oh. That sound can only mean one thing. All right, so we got our beers here. This is brewed in Ohio. This is Brewdog Nitro. This is called the Jet Black Heart Espresso. This is an oatmeal milk stout. It's a darker beer. It is 6% alcohol by volume, but it is a nitro, so it's a lot smoother than your traditional, and it is an oatmeal milk stout. Very dark, malty, but pour. The pour is exceptional. You don't have to worry about all the excess foam. You want this one, and then I'll trade you glasses. Let me have that one. My arm's not that fucking long. There we go. Look at that head on there. Look. Oh shit! Did you hear that in the background?
I'll go turn it off.
You know what that is?
It's a Roomba.
We got a Roomba down here, and that son of a bitch has been running all damn day. I mean, resetting and running and resetting and running But this is Brewdog's Nitro, brewed in Ohio, the Jet Black Heart Espresso Oatmeal Milk Stout. And it has a phenomenal, malty, very clean smell to it. Of course, because it's nitro, it has a great pour. It's easy to deal with. But the smell, the malted smell is phenomenal. I'm saying dark roasted, do you think? Has a dark roast smell to it? Yeah. So let's try this one.
It's not as cold.
What do you mean cold?
Like usually,
Like you want a really an ice cold one?
if it was like colder, yeah. I think it's good though.
Oh yeah. Let's remind the audience, because we haven't been with them for a while. Let's remind the audience about what we're judging these beers on. The first thing is smell. Obviously, when you put a beer to your face and that thing hits your olfactory senses, a lot of things get triggered. Your nose has a way of triggering your taste buds to remember certain things. So with this one, the smell is wonderful. Like you really want to enjoy this thing.
Yeah.
The second thing is, does it have a bite? Is there a little bit of a bite to it?
Not really.
No, it has a very smooth, and I think that has to do with the nitro in it. It has a very smooth blended taste to it. The third thing is, where's that aftertaste at?
It's not very potent. It's not.
There is one, but if it's like a cup of coffee, and I think people enjoy that malted, that coffee aroma later on. That's just part of who they are. And then finally, our last thing is, it's a summer day and somebody's friends are having a party, and they got a cooler of Brewdog Nitros there, the Jet Black Heart Espresso, and the cooler is filled with them because the guy thinks that you might like them. Are you going to go back and you're going to hammer one more, two more, three more? You're going to drink these all day?
I could drink a couple of these. I really could. I could go back to the cooler and drink a couple of these. I would.
I think so too. I think I can go back. I really like that.
I'm serious. I really could go back for a couple. If it was just a little bit colder, I think it would be better still.
I mean, it's been in the fridge.
Yeah, I don't know what it is then.
Maybe we could packed it on ice, maybe. But it's not a bad beer whatsoever.
No, and like I said, I could go back for a couple.
All right, so I'm going to change gears with you, CJ. So I'm going to take these glasses and get the two that I clean, because we're not going to put a nitro in with these.
Okay.
And try and blend you with this this next beer, which is it's a Pilsner, which is a German style beer, but I think once you taste it, you're really gonna like it. So I'll be back in 2 seconds. Let me get the other glasses.
And after this, don't worry, we're still gonna have our normal hops of the week. There's a lot of stuff been going on. I have a huge one actually. Well, it's not a long one, but it's actually like a really big, important event that has happened in the country so far. So I think that it'll be a good hops of the week. But also, if we do go to the different setup of where we will have computers in different places, we'll try and get together every once a month and try and do the beer tasting, because it is still a part of the show. Of course, our true fans know that during football season it's a little bit different, but we still want to taste the beer because it is the biggest reason of why we do this show. So we're still gonna hopefully do the beer tasting coming up here very soon. Yeah. All right, come on now, Slowpoke.
I got you.
Okay.
Shut your fucking mouth. I got these dogs.
But a cool looking can for this next one, actually.
Yeah. So
Let's see what we got.
Yeah. So this one, and I had to let those idiot fucking dogs in. So this is made by slyfoxbeer.com. It's independently brewed in PA. It's 5.2% alcohol by volume, and they've been doing beers for quite a long time. This beer is called Slugger, made by Sly Fox Brewing Company. It's called an unfiltered Pilsner, but you can see on the side they have an aluminum can, but you look at the label that they stuck on it, it's not exactly the straightest label. You see it's a little crooked and shit like that, but it's pretty cool. It's a cool label. There's nothing out of the ordinary that says, hey, these guys don't know what the fuck they're doing. But it is a Pilsner, so it is going to have a little bit more of a clear to it. It's going to have that German, maybe a little bit of a German feel to it, I guess.
Okay. First off, by the smell,
Yeah.
it's very fruity, I would have to
So,
say.
yeah, it's definitely a pale lager, and those are what you're going to get. That's what you're going to get out of a Pilsner or a Pils, if that's how you want to do it.
Okay.
Definitely German. So when you take a look at these, you can think of Grolsch. You can think of any number of German style lagers that might fit you. Look at you freaking hammering that shit down.
It was very good. It's very good.
It does say
very
that,
light.
but it's not as pale as you want it to be.
No.
Has a little more weight to it, and I wonder if this is the fact that it's unfiltered. So they're leaving a little bit of that. Yeah, it's an unfiltered Pilsner. So I mean, you're talking maybe a few extra ingredients clouding the beer, but when it comes to taste, man,
It's very good. It is very good.
It's really, really strong.
Very good.
So that is Slugger from Sly Fox Brewing in Pennsylvania. I think it was, 5.2% alcohol by volume.
Yes.
Whereas the oatmeal milk stout was 6.0. Yeah, I think we hit another. There's a couple of good beers.
Two good beers.
Two good beers again, man. There's some companies out
I do
there
like
making
the Brew
beers.
Dog though. I would say that the Brew Dog was better.
Do you like that?
I like a little bit of the. I like the darker beer.
There's a little bit left in there if you want some of that.
darker.
Take some of that. I'll drink the Pilsner. I'll finish off that can.
You get it?
Yeah, I got it. I can reach it.
All right.
Yeah, I found it. I went to go see your grandmother probably last month. She was still recovering from her knee surgery. She's now driving and she's walking with her cane. She's doing a lot better at 83 years young. And so I was looking around. I went to Glenn Miller's freaking beer distributor right near her house. It's like 10 minutes away. 15 tops, but with traffic. And I was looking at all their local craft beers. That shit is expensive. Dude, I paid freaking $16 for freaking 4 beers, a 4-pack. $16.
That's $4 a beer.
Dude, that's like going into a fucking bar. I mean, like, you put a shitty label on a freaking aluminum can. I mean, how much more does it have to cost me? But they're just lucky it tastes really good. But okay,
it's $4 a beer.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's go on to hops, and then let's get out of here.
All right, man. So you got one. I got two.
Yeah.
Two of them that are really short.
Okay.
First one is Saturday Night Live. Now, I haven't watched a ton of Saturday Night Live in the last few years. I haven't watched a ton, and it hasn't been spectacular.
I really wouldn't recommend watching Saturday Night Live.
Every once in a while, they get a few guests, and they freaking...
When Dave Chappelle is on, you bet your ass I'm watching Saturday Night Live. I'll tell you that.
No, but so I went back and I was watching some SNL freaking clips and shit like that. And there was one about all the impressions that have been done on Saturday Night Live. All the impressions from Trebek to freaking Connery to freaking Will Ferrell doing Janet Reno. Janet Reno's freaking dance club or some shit like that. There was Jerry Seinfeld was one of them. There was Joe Pesci. Jim Brewer did Joe Pesci's freaking... And I started to watch it, and I thought, what the hell happened to SNL? Lorne Michaels, who freaking created this what iconic show, and they let it get away. Like, this is
it's no
some
longer
of the best one. And I don't know why I like it so much. It's fucking stupid. Is the ones with I wish I could do the impression myself. God damn it! I just lapsed into my Alzheimer's. Is with
he's 54 years old.
I know. God damn it! I was cracking up.
He's 54
I
years
know.
old.
I was cracking up, and I went back, and I was started to watch a bunch of them.
What do you?
I gotta do it. Christopher Walken ones. The Christopher Walken ones, where so many of the freaking players on SNL can do Christopher Walken, and I was like losing my mind. I was actually. Your mother was looking at me like, "What are you laughing at?" And I'm like, "I'm watching all these people do Christopher Walken impersonations and shit." If you got to get on, I'm sure there's got to be something on YouTube. There's got to be something.
Well, Saturday Night Live. There's episodes on Hulu that you can watch.
Well, no, I'm just saying that you can go back and.
Oh yeah.
What was it? Going all the way back to Dana Carvey doing George Bush. Not gonna that one may prune at this time. And George Bush there, who is now, gone.
George H.W.
Yeah,
Bush,
talking to Bush 1.
Yeah.
Talking to Dana Carvey, going, I don't do that with my hands, and his hands are moving and shit like that. The history of these impersonations going all the way back to John Belushi with Joe Cocker singing songs and
rest in peace.
Yeah, there's some really cool shit on there, and I had not seen that in forever. And when I did see it, I didn't think it was that big a deal. And then you go back and you're like, that was really, really good. So one of the things I was just stumbled across was all the impersonations. The one was Seinfeld. And then it's Jimmy Fallon. Jimmy Fallon has done a ton of different things on Saturday Night Live. That's how he got his start. Like, that's where he made his.
I thought it was Fever Pitch.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
That's Devil Ray dancing. Yeah, but so that was one of them, and the other one is Tom Clancy died in 2013. I want to say it was 2012, 2013. Clancy died, and Clancy had written a number of books, so many different things. And I've talked about this before. Lee Child created the character Jack Reacher, And you know how your mother gets on my ass all the time. I've listened to Reacher's books so many times, over and over and over again.
Yep.
But Clancy has created iconic characters. One of them being Jack Ryan, the Jack Ryan series. I think that's on Hulu now, or not Hulu, but maybe Amazon Prime or whatever like that. The younger Jack Ryan series. Well, there is a character in the Jack Ryan series named Mr. Clark, John Clark. And anyway, his name is John Kelly, and Kelly becomes Mr. Clark. And the book that I'm listening to right now is Clancy's interpretation of this Vietnam veteran, hard-ass fucking frogman who becomes this iconic hero in the Jack Ryan series. It is an absolutely phenomenal book. If you don't pick that book up and read it for all freaking, I don't know, probably 600 pages of it, it's just a wonderful book. And I can't get enough of it. And I needed a diversion, because I've been this Reacher guy. And I couldn't get enough of it. And so now that this John Kelly character has come along, I can't get enough of the damn books. I want to listen to them all the time, and every time I put my headset on, your mother gets pissed at me. But Tom Clancy
Sounds like a normal woman.
Tom Clancy, rest his soul, he was a phenomenal character developer, and I can't thank him enough for giving me a new hero in John Kelly. So I've got a couple of other books. I'll bring them out on shows in the future, but I've got a couple of other books that are on the hook that I've listened to that are just great books. And there are a lot. There's a lot of. I won't say I can't find myself in those books, but you just let your mind escape into what could be and what would be. So if you get a chance, it's called Without Remorse. It's the creation of John Kelly into Mr. Clark, who becomes the personal protector for Jack Ryan. Once again, Tom Clancy's Without Remorse. You got to check it out. Great book.
So mine is actually like it's more personal to me because like I am a big video game guy, and
are you?
One of the things that
I should have told you. I should have had my freaking Dark Matter, but I didn't.
One of the things that I hate more than anything are publishers of these games right now, of video games, because of how grimy and scummy a lot of these publishers can be to their games. Well, one of them is called Activision Blizzard, and there is a ginormous lawsuit against them right now in the state of California. And this isn't just some small lawsuit being put against them. This is by the California, let me look at it right here, the California Department of Fair Employment and Housing. So this is a...
What are they doing?
They are suing them for basically unfair employment, sexual harassment, and there's a lot of people who have come to sue them right now, and it's being brought to court now because it's already been very well documented in this, here, you've been served, because there's been a lot of women who have come out and said, yeah, I work for this company, and guess what? Like, I am treated very poorly in this company. And even so, to the point where their president, the Blizzard's president, has resigned. So it's already starting to cascade over there. But I hate Activision Blizzard. I truly do. One of their biggest games is Call of Duty. They are the publisher. So they are the holders of the name Call of Duty. They hold the rights to the name Call of Duty.
The thing that gets me is in this day and age where everybody, if you're not walking a tightrope in terms of your behavior in front of a male, in front of a female, in front of a kid. I'm a fucking teacher, dude. So I understand what you're supposed to do. But in this day and age of billion-dollar industries of computer games, you still find the time to, for lack of a better word, mistreat employees, then you should go down like the fucking Titanic.
And I hope they burn.
You should go down like the fucking Titanic. It's not hard. It's not hard to treat people nice. It's not fucking hard. I don't give a shit what color you are. It's not hard to treat people nice. It's just not.
Or what gender or
Don't even get into
sorry,
that.
sorry. What you describe yourself as.
It's just people. It's not hard to treat people
but
nice.
It has been like there are literally photos of
Look,
Activision.
I love you, son.
There are literally photos of Activision higher ups with Bill Cosby. They're literally in like hotel rooms with him. There's literally
Are they getting tips or something?
There's also
Hey Bill, I need help. I need help with my Mickeys. They're just not working the way I want them.
There's also a statement of a woman committing suicide because she didn't know what would happen after she slept with her boss. Basically, she committed suicide. Women are being sexually harassed.
Dude,
they're
that's
not being
scary.
treated.
It's scary.
That's
and,
awful.
And like
nobody
I said,
talks
in this
about
day and
it.
age, and that doesn't come to the forefront. Look at Deshaun Watson.
Now, who knows what's going to happen with that? Because it's just been.
But you have a multi-billion-dollar empire in freaking computer gaming.
Yeah.
Who has the wherewithal to throw money around and prevent themselves from going down. But this is one of those situations where you hope they get their dick knocked in the dirt, so to speak.
And this is also for a publisher that time and time and time again has shown that when it comes to video games, they do not care about anything else other than profit. They do not care about anything else other than making sure that their shareholders and their board of directors are pleased with profits.
Sure.
That is a big part of what you do.
What a lot of companies
in companies. But at the same time, you know what keeps your game afloat? It's the people who play your fucking game. Yeah. It is, without a doubt, the people who play your game. And if you have a small amount of people who play your game at some point, guess what? You're gonna lose your company. You're gonna lose your this and that. Now, as I said, they hold the rights to some of the biggest names in games.
Yeah.
World of Warcraft, Diablo, Call of Duty. These are huge names that have huge followings, but at the same time, that just goes to show you that they hold the rights to those names. And they do shady shit because they know they can get away with it because they hold to.
They're so powerful. Yeah,
it's just like, why not? Let's just treat our totally women like fucking pieces of meat. Let's just do that. Yeah, that sounds.
What was that?
It's my phone falling, but it's okay.
Good. No one.
But
cares.
This is what I'm trying to get at is that I'm glad that this is happening again because they have been brought before. They've also had a lawsuit before by the same thing, the California Fair Labor Department. They've had the same thing happen to them back in 2010. Now it's being brought 11 years later again that dude, you're still a shitty-ass company when it comes to treating your employees. But it doesn't matter because you are turning a profit every single chance because you hold the rights to these big-name games. See, the way it works is that you have a publisher of a game, and then you have development teams, a part of that publisher, who work on those specific games. Here's an example. There's a huge video game publisher called Ubisoft. Mm-hmm. They have development teams like Ubisoft Montreal, Ubisoft, I think it's Paris, Ubisoft Barcelona. They have small development teams within this big publisher that allow them to create the video games. The publishers don't really do much other than hold the rights to those names and also make a lot of the big decisions when it comes to making sure that the game is still viable. And one of those names is Call of Duty.
I was going to say, Ubisoft was huge. Weren't they fucking Halo or something like that?
No, that was Bungie. That
Was
was
it-
a completely Ubisoft is in charge of games like
Assassin's Creed. Yeah, okay.
Tom Clancy, they're in charge of Ghost Recon. That's Tom Clancy
Yeah,
again.
yeah.
But like they're in charge of big names. Blizzard, one of the biggest names is Call of Duty. Like I said, every single year they come out with a new Call of Duty every single year, and their games just sell still to this day. And I hope that this lawsuit just continues to push their boundaries and say, like, dude, stop fucking buying their games because they're not even treating their own people right when it comes to this because they don't care as long as they get their money. They truly just do not care unless they get their money.
All right. EA is set to release in October Battlefield
Yep.
2042. First reaction to 128 players on a map.
I think
First
it's
reaction.
great. It's revolutionary. You have something that a lot of people are looking for, and that is chaos. They want to see
On a
chaos.
larger scale.
On a larger scale.
Okay.
It's like a war.
Yeah.
It's literally like a war.
Sure.
And also,
it's a
I think a
battlefield.
lot of people.
Dare I
A lot of
say
people are looking for a different change of pace once again because
Yeah.
in the previous Battlefields, you've had Battlefield 1 and Battlefield 5. Battlefield 1 was World War 1 and Battlefield 5 was World War 2, and you saw what those can be on a larger scale because you had these game modes that were called operations where you attacked a point, and then if you succeeded in capturing that point, the enemy had to fall back, and if you held them back, then guess what? They had to fall back and send in reinforcements to try and do it again and again. Now, let's try it in a modern setting. Let's see if we can actually, make this happen in a modern
all
setting.
different weapons, all different machinery, all of those things coming together in
Yeah.
one massive Battlefield, 128 players.
Yeah.
I do not know, and you know me because I've been a Black Ops and a freaking Modern Warfare guy for many, 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 many years. Going back 12, 13, 14 years probably. Is there a new Black Ops Modern Warfare on the horizon?
I don't know. And I honestly don't care because
I'm just asking because
I don't know.
That's where I live. That's me.
I get that.
You know how,
but
you know how I am.
but once again, Coach, it comes down to you can't keep doing the same shit over and over.
Right, and it's getting that way, and I felt
is
that way.
like-
I was playing today before you got there, and I was playing on. And don't get me wrong, I enjoy hardcore gaming, the hardcore mode. I'm enjoying hardcore mode, and I've been trying to deal with silly sniper rifles and stuff like that. Now I have all the freaking camos. If you go back to Modern Warfare, I have Damascus, and now I have Dark Matter. And so I just toy around with other weapons and things like that, and I just see it's crazy. It's kind of silly. I don't know and I'm no expert by any stretch, but I just find a laziness in a few things. And I was telling you this, that when you look between the two games, it's like the mechanism that drives the game doesn't want you to be successful. They intentionally make you miss. They intentionally make you mad so that you keep coming back and you keep trying harder. But I don't want to try any harder. I've already achieved. And part of me says, look, I invested the time. I'm a 19th prestige. I'm fucking ranked up. I hold your highest classification because I did all of the challenges. Stop trying to make me fucking miss. And sometimes I think the algorithm is built in to make all of the players
that also has
miss.
to deal with one of the things that I have hated about Call of Duty these past couple years is that they are like politics in a way where they come out with this skill-based matchmaking shit.
Yep.
And where they try to make the bad players feel better about themselves. I go, so let me get this straight. You want the
That's
people
why I
who
play
are
hardcore.
not very good at the game
That's why I play hardcore.
to have a safe space and feel better about themselves. Well, then how are they going to get better?
Right.
How are they truly going to get better? Because here's the way the system works. If you do good in one game, guess what? You get placed into a higher skill game the next game.
Right.
What happens if you get your butt kicked in
Handed
that
to
game?
you. Yeah.
What are you going to do? Go back to your safe space again? That doesn't make the game better, and it just gives people another false sense of like, why did you do this? It used to be public matchmaking based on connection. You join the game, and if you sucked, you fucking sucked. And the only way that you could get better is by playing the game and getting better at the game.
And I have gotten
and
a
that
lot
happens
better.
over time. Why do you think players in the NFL are good?
Your dad has gotten better at the game.
They have put their mind to say, I want to be an NFL player. And they perfected their craft to get to that point. And it's just like in video games. When you see professional video game players, you know why they're professionals? It's because they are the best at what they do. They are better than you in
after
every
this show is
single
over,
way.
you better hand me a fucking ribbon for doing a really good show. Whether I did a good show or not, I want a fucking ribbon.
It adds on to why I just dislike Activision and their practices.
I get it.
Because
I'm
another
down with
reason why they did that is because it's like, well, more people will want to come to our game because they'll see that it's easy. So that'll make more people buy our game. We're putting it in right now because it's $60, even still 4 years later. Put it in right now because that's the type of shit that they do. And then they treat their employees like shit. All right. Next time, I don't know when we'll be back. I would say here in a couple of weeks once I
Maybe
get my
2
computer
weeks.
back.
I'm going to school. I
And-
start school this week, brother.
And I can get Discord up and running and I can get recording and figure out how to work through that. We'll hopefully be back by then. But it felt good
You know,
to be
if
back.
we got to get a camera too, I'll grab the camera, and if Fish can go to your house, and you guys pull it off in like the kitchen in your place, and I could freaking have a satellite.
We'll work through that later.
I'm just thinking. I'm thinking high tech. I'm trying to be high tech. Don't dismiss me, son.
Okay. Guys, thank you for chilling with us.
Thank you for
But
coming back, man.
Until next time, peace out. Love you guys.
Peace.